Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are back, or well, we're here for a new show, replacing Serial Experiments Lane. We are here for To Your Eternity Season 2, or it's like Fumetsu no Anata I or something like that. I apologize for probably butchering the crap out of the Japanese name. I'm probably just going to call it To Your Eternity just because it's easier for me to say. But yeah, we're here for Season 2, Episode 1. For those of you who don't know, I have done a reaction to season 1, so you can find that on my channel. Check that out if you're interested. I watched these in subbed in case you're tuning in for the first time. And I also do full-length timer-based reactions, which means that you guys need to have your own footage and you need to sync to me. The only thing you'll see in the corner is a timer and 15 seconds worth of footage just to help you sync at the very beginning. So yeah, just in case my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown isn't like perfectly on par, right? So that way you can have like a good visual of what to sync to, right? Um, but yeah, so with all that out of the way, I'm looking forward to getting into season 2. This was a very emotional and good show. Obviously, from the beginning of it, March was the one that impacted me the most. Losing her was rough. I was really sad to learn, like later on in the show, we learned that Perona had died too, which was really sad. Uh, Gugu also hit me a bit, but not as hard. Um, I think like losing March made me feel like this is probably going to be like the format of the show kind of thing, so I sort of expected it to happen at some point. But but yeah, I definitely didn't want all the kids to die, except for I think Tonari's still alive, right? I think she's the only one that lived through that arc. Um, but I definitely didn't want them all to die, but it didn't impact me as hard. I think it was because like there was so much manipulation going on throughout that arc that I didn't really like them at first. Not that I want any kind of kids to die because, they're shaped by their circumstances and, the fact that they led lives that led them to be the way they were is just tragic. So I don't blame them or anything, and I didn't want them to die, but I wasn't like in tears when they did die, right? Um, but yeah, we have Hayase, who she's still alive, right? Like last time, didn't we see her like on? We saw her like. Oh, actually, I think we got like a tease of her being on the beach in like a cabin, and someone like walked in on her and she like killed him or something. I think that might have been her. I think that might have been the last time we saw her, but we also saw her like left on the boat and we had one of the little shoot, I can't remember what they call the antagonists, right? The little root things. I I can't remember the word they used for them, but it seemed like she was almost talking to one of them and stuff and maybe like had some sort of agreement with them. So definitely some interesting stuff going on there. And we ended it off with Piorin, just getting old and passing away after teaching Fushi a lot. So, and that was very sad too. But it was also a beautiful kind of sad in the way it was handled with, talking to the weird alien being and being like, hey, take me, but I want to come back as something that can be useful to Fushi. So we don't know if that will come back into the story at all. Like, will she, you know, will we find out if she does come back at all? Or I don't know, because they even said, like, you won't have your memories or anything like that. So, and she might even just be like an object, right? I think is like the thing about that. I don't know for sure, but either way, definitely was sad, but yet a beautiful send off for that character. So I'm looking forward to going into whatever's next. I mean, we Fushi's just alone as we left it with that season, right? And I think they showed a lot of time pass. There was like a big time jump, right? I can't remember exactly how much time, but I think it was a lot of years. So I'm interested to see how developed Fushi will be and like will he have more forms when he comes back through the time skip or did he avoid making those connections that allow him to take those forms kind of thing? I'm not sure, but Either way, enough talking. I'm sorry for the long-winded beginning. I just wanted to cover a lot of bases from season one, kind of refreshing myself and talking to you guys about just different opinions I had on it. But let's get started, shall we? All right, guys, we're gonna start here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Oh, good. Maybe we'll get a little bit of recap. I definitely could use it. Oh, March. PRN. Hmm. The world is full of death. The flowers. Oh, oh shit. Okay, that's a start. Did they keep the same song? No way. We got a new visual though. Oh shit. Jeez, look at him. That's crazy that they kept the same song. I've like never seen a show that comes out with a season 2 and keeps the same song. Nothing too spoilery yet. Some new characters. Sometimes these openings are very spoilery. Whoa. Interesting. Jesus. What was that? Well, damn. Aww. Right back to the beginning. Damn, that was a good opening. Wasn't too, like, there were a lot of things that are like, ooh, that's curious, but nothing that I feel like is like, holy crap, that's a spoiler, right? At least nothing super apparent to me yet. These two again, right? Oh, shit. Yeah. The zombies. Ugh, I hate the tongue thing so much. Can you imagine? Oh, fuck, man. Really? Can you imagine burying a loved one just to have him come back and kill you, like, immediately? Shit. Ugh. I hate the way it, like, bulged to get the body to get up. Who's this hero? They seem to know what they're doing to fight them. Hmm. Fushi? He's definitely older. Ah, 40 years. Okay. He has the same pants from Gugu, right? Ah. So he went into the water at one point and okay. Oh shit. The voice. Oh damn. Jeez. Did he just become the octopus? And then got eaten and became the fish? He just became the hierarchy. That's crazy though. Hmm. Oh. Knockers, that's what they were called. Yeah, I use that form now. Jeez. Yeah. Being the only one to go on. Is he eating the knockers? That's what I thought. When I was looking at that dried meat, it reminded me of like the knockers. That's disgusting. Worrying about if they're dead or not. Hmm. Jeez, a month. Alright. Someone knows? Hisame. Oh, Jesus. Friggin' the highest they had a family? Hmm. Oh, Hayase is dead? I don't trust that that lady's dead at all. Hmm. We've got someone who's oblivious to life in the real world, and then someone who's been around in the real world for too long and is sick of it. Maybe she'll be able to rekindle a little spark in Fushi. No, no. Those are the things that knock you out, right? Aren't they? Isn't that what we saw they gave to March? His old jacket. Except for the drug she just tried to give you. I don't know if it actually is, but is this gonna be a oh shit. Did the knockers get passed down to her? Hmm. Huh. Yes. Ugh. Reincarnation. That is just creepy. Ugh. I hate everything about their bloodline. I'm really curious though if it's possible for it to be like a knocker on our side, right? Just talking about will rather than actual reincarnation. Hmm. Is Phi kind of like the soul? Okay, yeah. Wow, he like never. It's crazy that he never even had like that consideration, right? Yeah. She going with Fushi. Yep, she did. Okay. Good job. Oh, he can't eat fish though. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. So it's been. I guess they said it would take a month to travel. So. All right. The bird. We had someone that. Okay. Never mind. So we had a character that had like a. It was like an owl or a bird or something, right? Hmm. Man, so they saw someone with white hair and just figured it was him. Tonary? Or is it the. Or is it her that spread that? Is she the crazy little girl? Jeez. She knows a lot. There's like folklore being made, and that's crazy. Be like whole religions that form and everything in his name. Hmm. She got used to it. You know, built up a tolerance. Well, she built up a tolerance to it. Yep. They're at it again. Drugging them. Why 40 years? Wait, this isn't Toneri, is it? I didn't even think about that. She has the same kind of hair, right? I'm an idiot. I bet that's who that is. Jeez. What a creepy face. Yep. I don't know why, it took me way too long. Oh shit, it's already over. Goddamn. That was fast. Who's this? Oh, March. See, I was trying to think about who that could have been, right? Um. Oh. Oh, is that Reen? Is that who that's supposed to be? Her eyes are creepy there, though. I was so hung up trying to think about who that could be. Thinking about the kids that died and the one that can remember the one that controlled the arrow was like a young girl. I think she even had like brown hair. Um, and I think she ended up dying, which is why I was like, no, that character died, and I was so caught up on that character that I didn't really factor in Toneri, who was the one person who lived through that arc, also had brown hair, the same kind of skin complexion. It took me way too long, but I got it eventually. Um, that makes a lot of sense. All right, guys, that is it for episode 1 of season 2. All right, so we have 40-year passage of time. The Knockers are attacking other areas other than, I guess they spent the 40 years just trying to attack Fushi and it never worked, so then they went for a nearby village. So he headed there to help. In the meantime, he ran into Hisame, who is the granddaughter of Hayase. Supposedly, Hayase is dead. They kind of consider, like, at least Hisame considers herself to be Hayase's reincarnation. Now, the way the guy explained it is that everyone has, like, a Phi or a soul, and that soul moves on. And even if Hayase did reincarnate into Hisame, if that even was a thing, she wouldn't have any memories or anything, so Hisame is her own person. Although it seems like Hayase taught her, legacies well because they're still up to the same tricks. I was right about that drug cube, right? I bet you anything that was going to drug Fushi, and Fushi's been denying food from them this whole time because of that, right? And Fushi slowly built up his trust, took some tea from them, and then got knocked out. Luckily, Tonari was there, who built up a resistance to all these different things and was able to survive it. So that's really badass. I'm looking forward to, old Tonari because young Tonari was very manipulative, and she might still be, but at least she might be a little more mature about it, kind of thing. We'll see. But so far, it seems like she's going to be helping Fushi because they just drugged him and planned on taking him back and imprisoning him again for a third time, right? They just talked about the two other times that they tried to do it, so it's crazy to me. But the Guardians have built this like whole cult around Fushi, right? Or I shouldn't say cult, but like it's a whole movement. They've like spread the word that this white-haired immortal and everything, and so he's known all over the place apparently. Um, so that'll be an interesting dynamic because I mean that makes sense. An entity like Fushi living for as long as he has, eventually enough time's gonna pass that there's gonna be this. I mean, there already is. They're talking about like the folklore and everything. And they were like, I was like sitting there and I was like, Tonari knows a lot. Or before I knew who it was, I was like, this lady knows a lot, right? She knows like the ins and outs, even of like him being captured twice back in the day, which I imagine isn't like widely spread. I highly doubt that the Guardians go around telling people like, yeah, we captured him like many times, or whatever. But Tonari probably knows it because Fushi probably shared his story when they first met, right? And stuff like that. So, or it's very possible she did research, even if Fushi didn't share his story. I can't remember how much he told her, but there's also could have been stuff that he told her off screen too. But either way, she could have learned through like research and stuff, right? As she's just existed for these last 40 years. Because she even knew things about like Yaname and the poison they use and stuff like that. So she knew like all about Yaname culture and all these different things, which she shouldn't have known beforehand because she was stuck on Gironda or whatever that was called for most of her life, right? So, but uh, but yeah, definitely an interesting dynamic having Tonari back immediately and having this granddaughter of Hayase, which it makes it even more creepy that for one, they passed down that one knocker that she took on. I talked about it at the beginning, the one that they found on the boat, right? Um, they've passed down that same one to daughter, to granddaughter, and everything. And it listens to them. So I wonder, like, do all the knockers have a hive mind? Like, do the other ones know that this one is there? Does this one still have a vendetta against Fushi? Does the one that then or has that one calmed down? I don't know. I wonder if we ever will get into like if there is any kind of like sentience in there for the knockers. I'm sure there is, but is it possible for one to separate from the group and betray the rest, or is it like a hive mind kind of thing? I'm not sure, but certainly interesting. Uh, and yeah, I guess I don't know. I thought I was branching off somewhere with that, but then I lost track. Uh, but yeah, I'm really curious of how that goes, having you know a knocker so close. But hopefully they get away from these Guardians, and I guess now poor Fushi is going to be on the run from Knockers and the Guardians. Then is that what I mean? I guess that's how it's always been, right? He's always been on the run from Hayase and the Knockers. He had a 40-year break um from Hayase, I guess. It seems like she never showed up again. Um, I suppose her, like, was that part of Hayase's goal? Was she like, okay, you know, I'm gonna have a hard time getting Fushi the way he is now, so I'm gonna put that on pause, and I'm gonna go spread the word about Fushi, and build a following around him, and you know, use it as like a form of control for society, right? Like they're essentially being like it's not like they said like you're using it as a means of controlling people or whatever, right? By being like, or I think she said you're trying to show people that you have control over Fushi, right? And I mean, if you have access to this immortal being, obviously more people are going to follow you, which raises. I mean, she even said they have like a country's worth of followers, right? So that's that's some pretty big military strength if they wanted to pull it all together, you know, for the sake of one common goal. But but yeah, certainly interesting. I guess I call them followers, but they use the word believers. So, but interesting. Yeah, I mean, it was very it was good even though it was 40 years later to see that Fushi was still grieving over the losses. And we also saw some like flashbacks to his time of him struggling, you know, having moments where he is the one that moved on while the rest didn't, and that's sad, you know, because I believe it. Like that's the biggest thing when people talk about the problem with immortality is basically watching everyone around you constantly dying, right? So, um, but that moment when the alien being was talking to Fushi and saying like explaining Phi or souls and stuff like that, and saying like they moved on to where they wanted, and either reincarnated or whatever. If there's some kind of afterlife in this world, I don't know. But but you saw Fushi's face kind of light up, and I think that helped him a little bit, like him knowing that, you know, he may be copying their bodies, but he's not copying their souls, right? And their souls aren't trapped within him because it's almost like he never factored in the idea of a soul. So I don't think he ever really worried about like the souls being trapped in the forms that he takes kind of thing. I don't think he ever really worried about that because I don't think he even factored like I think he just assumed dead means gone and just gone forever, right? And I mean it kind of is, but having the soul as something to think about and think about like their essence moving somewhere else, it I feel like it softens the blow of death. And I felt like you saw that light up in his face and that was really cool. So but yeah, great first episode, guys. I'm really looking forward to seeing where we go with older Tonari, granddaughter of Hayase. Like, you know, Yaname seems to still be, assuming they're still tied to Yaname, these guardians or whatever, seem to still be, you know, going after Fushi. And I'm excited. I wonder how long Tonari will stick around Fushi, you know, and help like protect him and work with them. It'll be curious to see. And I mean, unfortunately, with all things that come with Fushi, she'll probably die at some point. I mean, it's even possible that she stays with him until she just gets old and dies, and that's just gonna happen, right? Because Fushi's immortal, so we'll see. But definitely curious. I'm excited to see, especially because if Tonari had survived this whole time, knows a lot about knockers, knows how to survive. We saw her fight one in the beginning of the episode and win, so she's definitely become like pretty powerful. But yeah, I'm excited to see it. So yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you guys. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Check out my Patreon if you want to see more from me. You can see 2 of these episodes ahead of time, episode 2 and 3, through the early access tier on my Patreon right now if you're interested. There's also my Patreon exclusive shows where I watch stuff that isn't even released to YouTube yet, so you can take a look at that and see if there's anything you're interested in. and it supports me and what I do here. Very much appreciate it. But yeah, thanks guys. Links are in the description below, or they should be popping up on the screen, and I'll see you guys in my future reactions. Bye-bye.